On behalf of the University of Georgia, I am pleased to welcome you to this very special, indeed may I say spectacular occasion, the reunion of the alumni and current members of the Men's Glee Club, dedicated to honoring the coach, Dr. Pierce Arendt. While we respect those institutions through which our lives have been redirected and shaped, the redirection and shaping is not by the institution, but by those special individuals who have gone out of their way to help us make better use of our talents and interests. Clearly, Dr. Arendt has been that person for many alumni here today, and it is therefore today that he recognized for his 30 years of devotion to students and music at the University of Georgia. And what better place to celebrate the occasion than at these magnificent new concert facilities. Facilities that will help Dr. Arendt and his colleagues in the School of Music transform not only the way we educate students, but the very meaning of the University of Georgia for its students, alumni, and friends. I'd like now to introduce Bobby Epting, who's Director of Development for the Franklin College of Arts and Sciences and who's worked with the Men's Glee Club alumni.
Thank you, Dr. Percassi. I know that you have a special announcement in a minute, but I do want to recognize some other people who are here this evening. We do have to recognize that the Men's Glee Club is comprised of members of all 13 schools and colleges at the University of Georgia, not just the Franklin College of Arts and Sciences, but we're very proud in the Franklin College to recognize the School of Music as one of the units, and as Dr. Arendt as one of our very favorite faculty members, Dr. Arendt. We have had a good time working with all of these alumni, and one in particular is not here tonight. His name is Bobby Brooks. Mr. Brooks was actually not under Dr. Arendt's tutelage, but under Dr. Hodson's, Hugh Hodson. And I think it's important that we are here tonight in Hugh Hodson Hall celebrating a very long tradition of Men's Glee Club activities at the University of Georgia. Bobby Brooks was actually a major contributor to the Men's Glee Club in honor of Dr. Arendt, even though he was under Dr. Hodson's tutelage. He also was a soloist in 1934 and sent me several of the programs from those early years. And so I'll share with you those later on this evening. You can kind of look those over. Tonight there are two people who I'd like to ask to stand. We have Dean Wyatt Anderson, Dean of the Franklin College of Arts and Sciences. And Dr. Richard Graham, who is Director of the School of Music. They're both here to recognize, to honor Dr. Arendt, to enjoy a wonderful evening of choral music. Before I have Tom Granum come up, or as he comes up, who is our alumni director and his committee, I wanted to tell a few things. The reason I got so excited about Men's Glee Club is when I was here in the late 70s, we would come back from Tennessee over Thanksgiving to attend the community celebrations. And the children were little and they were in the Coliseum. And then later on in Fine Arts, as the Men's Glee Club were doing their annual concerts, and they would invite the alumni up, who would come on stage but my choir director? So I am also a beneficiary of Dr. Arendt's original work and his secondary work too. And Tom, come on up.
The word amateur comes from the word to love. Has nothing to do with whether you're paid for your music making or not. And one thing that Dr. Arendt has done for me and for all of us has instilled into us that love of singing, that love of community, that love of fellowship. He has instilled in us that desire to care about the music, to care about what we sing. I want to thank all the alumni who are making this possible by your participation. Thank the community. I look around, I see literal neighbors as well as figurative neighbors. This community is great supporters of the Men's Glee Club and has been for many decades. We thank you for that. Now I'd like to ask the alumni committee to come up on stage. Hal Pate, Billy Hendricks, Charles Vaughn, Jeff Todd, Milton Sams, and Harry Musselwhite. I'd like to ask Harry to come to the microphone, please.
Why are we here? That's the question, isn't it? Certainly everybody in here has a sense of Men's Glee Club singing the wonderful, sensuous tones of the male voice and that wonderful visceral impact that reaches right inside your heart and gives it a wonderful massage. Well, I think you know why we're really here. It's about a certain gentleman sitting over there behind the piano. Was it his concern for the Men's Glee Club over the years? I might have to debate this because in Cordele, Georgia one evening, our hosts failed to show up to house us, and this man, this sacrificing man here, found us the finest place to stay in Cordele, Georgia, the Top Hat Motel. By the end of that famous evening, we had personally named every roach in the place. Is it his ability to prognosticate? Well, again, I must say that at the end of my spring quarter, my freshman year, Dr. Arendt called me into his office and he sat me down in his spacious office in the bottom of the Fine Arts building, I remember. He said, "Mr. Musselwhite," you know, I knew I was in trouble, because if he said Mr. Musselwhite, there was nothing good to come. He looked me right in the eyes and he said, "Mr. Musselwhite, I have serious doubts that you will ever have a future in music." No, the reason we are here tonight is one word, and it's used so much. It's love. It's the love that you notice in the link that is formed between all of these terrific young singers and the heart of this fine director. In a recent column that I write for the Rome News Tribune over in Rome, Georgia, I wrote about Dr. Arendt. And I talked about how all these young men, and some of these old men, come to the University of Georgia and perhaps maybe gripe about their tuition. But after having the experience of Dr. Everett Pierce Arendt, Jr., tuition becomes nothing short of a bargain. This is why we are here tonight. And here and out here is the evidence of the love that we share and the love that we carry on this stage and on other stages and back home with us. I think that deserves a round of applause. It's Charles Claiborne, who is choral chairman for the Georgia Music Educators Association and is here tonight to represent the American Choral Directors Association. Please welcome Charles Claiborne.
Thank you. Some years ago, the Georgia chapter of the American Choral Directors Association felt that it was appropriate to present an award to people who have contributed significantly to choral music in the state of Georgia. We also felt it was appropriate to name this award after the late Dr. Wendell Whalen, the director of the Morehouse College Glee Club for many years. In a few minutes, over 100 men are going to come from the audience and join these men on stage. They've all given up at least a Saturday and at most a weekend. Now, why did they do that? They did that because Pierce Arendt gave these men something special, a unique style for making them love music and love performing. They are not alone. There are thousands of men and women throughout this state, this country, and probably this whole world who Dr. Arant has touched over the years. It is without a doubt that he has significantly contributed to choral music in the state of Georgia. On behalf of the Georgia chapter of the American Choral Directors Association, I take great pleasure in presenting the Wendell Whalum Award to Dr. Pierce Arant.
We're just getting started. Certainly the alumni of the Men's Glee Club, and I'm sure many of the members of the current Men's Glee Club, are aware of an ongoing project that we've been engaged in this week, headed up by this incredibly good-looking rank of young men here. And, I hate to say this, but our expectations have fallen just a little short. And so I would like to ask committee member Billy Hendricks now to bring out the University of Georgia Men's Glee Club alumni desk set honoring And now I'll return the microphone to the good doctor.
I think I'm directing this to you. Dr. Arant, in special recognition of your 30 years of exceptional service to the University of Georgia, in bringing the joy of music and song to generations, it is my pleasure to announce that these alumni and friends have made it possible to name the Choral Director's Office in your honor, the E. Pierce Arant Jr. Choral Director's Suite. Congratulations.
I promise you, about a year ago, I had an idea of doing this, but just to have some fun, okay? I'd never intended for these jerks, these gentlemen, to do anything but come back here and practice a while and sing a concert with the Glee Club. I appreciate this very much, Tom and the rest of you. I can't express myself. I tell you, Charles, Wendell Whalum was a dear, dear, dear man. And I have never been quite as honored as to have the state of Georgia, ACDA, recognize me with that award, I promise you. And I certainly hope you know Wendell was a wonderful man, directed the Morehouse Glee Club, and was a great friend of mine, and I learned so much from him through the years until his death, untimely, really untimely. I appreciate very much being able to come to work, and I'll see my name and know I'm in the right place. Joe Brown, I pinch myself every day when I walk in. I love you. I love these guys, and I love these others, and all of them. And it's just so much fun. Isn't that why we do this? It's just such a joy. And I thank you so much.